I should go ahead and take Growlmon and get him. Let's get Weregarurumon before we do that. But I need to get Growlmon the machine experience to become War Growlmon. I should really go out of my way to just go ahead and get him to become Growlmon or War Growlmon so that he starts getting experience towards Megidramon. The more experience he starts getting towards Megidramon, the less grinding we'll have to do later to get his quest. Which is better, this or the alternate design? I like the Data Squad look of Falcomon more than the other Falcomon design. I think the other Falcomon design is the original one, right? Hey, Ko, I'm a big fan of Vikemon that lives in Access Glacier. Even though I live in City, I want to help them. Can you enter their combat game? I'm sure everyone will be happy to see you. The game is held in Access Glacier. Let's go. Woo! What's up, Vikemon? So you're Ko, I'm starting the combat game, so please assist me. The rules are simple. Fight 3 Zudomon, and if you beat them, you can get an Ice Stone, Frozen Stone, and Snow Stone. When you have them all, come see me. Alright, and then Vikemon is going to be at the spot where we saw Grimmon at the end, through Macro C. So we should be able to very easily get Weregarurumon during this quest. And Weregarurumon will get some quick level ups as well. Then we're just going to throw Weregarurumon into a farm and leave him there. Because we're not going to need Metal Garurumon until way later for Omnimon. So you're Ko, I'll take you on first. Prepare yourself. Bring it, punk. Starlight! This thing might just, like, die to Double Blade. It'll take a lot of damage, at least. Another crit? 2 crits would have done it. Really close. Nice dodges. I thought these things were worth like 1,000 experience, not 500. I mean, experience is experience. Ah, ouch, I give up. Here, take the Ice Stone. It is crazy how much of Dawn and Dusk's, like, balance issue or grinding issues would be solved if, like, it just took... Either you got more experience per fight, or you're, you took less experience per level up later on. Like, once Digimon starts to get to, like, level 35 onward, it takes so long for them to actually level up. Get this fish out of here. Alright, Hyogomon, you got one shot. You best not miss. Ba-na-na-na. What level am I getting Stingmon to before I degenerate him? Probably like 40-ish? I mean, once you get like 30 plus, you start to get diminishing returns. So I might actually just let him get to like 35 and then degenerate him back into Wormmon. I'm not sure. The amount of grinding I had to do when I was a kid made me think this game is a lot longer than it actually is. That's exactly why it's designed this way, is to fool kids like you and me when we were younger into thinking that the game is a lot longer and therefore was, like, worth buying. It's a common thing, like, in the, I feel like, the late 90s, and especially in the early 2000s. I feel like it's a lot more prevalent in, like, the early to mid 2000s than you would expect. But, like, game developers were really afraid, like, oh no, if the game isn't long enough, then, like, kids won't buy it. So we need to just come up with ways that make the game seem a lot longer to children specifically. Like, a kid won't realize that the amount of longer it is because of boring grinding or whatever, because a kid will just play whatever a kid will play, etc. Hi. I'm next. It's a pleasure to fight you. Here goes. Yeah, you can also see it kind of like with the level layout in some games, especially like with Dawn and Dusk. The level layouts in Dawn and Dusk are a little whack and confusing and like turn you around a bit, like Pallet Amazon, Loop Swamp, Sunken Tunnel are all like that to an extent. And it's because kids especially will get super lost and they'll think that the game is longer as a result. That's still a thing these days too. People want long games. It's not in the same way though, I don't think. When you get longer games in today's era, you get more like optional quests and like bigger areas in games and whatnot. You don't really get grind fests like what you typically got back in like DS and PlayStation 2 games and whatnot that would have stuff like this. You're really strong. I give up. Here's the Frozen Stone. Frozen Stone. Or just more story like Persona games? No, that's different. Persona, I don't think Persona really has any filler in it, to be honest with you. I'm talking about something that's thrown in, like the amount of grinding that you have to do in this game, for instance, what we're talking about, does not have to exist. They could have just tweaked like the experience and leveling system in this game a bit, and that grinding wouldn't happen hardly at all. In games like Persona, in modern day, there aren't moments where it's like, oh, I have to spend 2 hours grinding up in Persona 5 at least, to accomplish something, or like Persona 3 Reload. Instead, what you have is like, they just made the game is just long because that's how the game is made, because it has a lot to the game wants to do and get across. So, like, the thing I'm talking about with Dawn and Dusk doesn't really exist anymore in gaming, for the most part. Like, you can find some games that are like that, for sure. But they're few and far between. But, like, back in, like, the mid to early 2000s, when Dawn and Dusk were, like, in their heyday and, like, these kinds of games, especially on the Nintendo DS, were commonplace, like, there was a lot of it. Celestial Hand. Die. Unless you want to kill the Reaper in Persona. Well, that's also different, right? Because, like, that's an optional super boss kind of deal. That's not something that, like, the average player child, especially, is really gonna care about. And that doesn't make the game longer in the sense of you having to go out of your way to finish the game. Like, you can finish the game and, like, have basically the full experience of Persona and never deal with the Reaper. But with, like, Dawn, with the way the maps are laid out and with how leveling works to, like, get through the game, you sort of have to do a little bit of grinding here and there. Especially to, like, get the Digimon you want to use throughout the game. See, look, we're at level 50. It takes 7,000 experience to level up. That's so much. So very much. You didn't get to 170 speed. I didn't realize that was a problem. Oh, wow, you're super far off of it, too. That's not good. I did not realize that you needed that speed amount. Hold up, we're actually gonna leave and come back. Womp. I think Persona 4 Golden was awful about level balancing. I haven't played Golden in so long, I need to play it again sometime soon, but I remember playing Golden and being like, man, when you go from, like, when you get, like, halfway through the randomly generated dungeon, like, floor 5 to 6, the enemies would suddenly jump up, like, 5 levels. Like, the game expected you to level grind the previous 5 floors a couple of times before going further, which was really annoying. And then I think the original Persona 3, its level scaling wasn't that bad, other than random mini-bosses. It wouldn't be that, like, you would suddenly go up a floor and all of the enemies are suddenly, like, way higher level and annoying to deal with in 3. It would be you got to a specific mini-boss of, like, 3 birds, and those 3 birds were, like, 8 levels higher than everything else you had been fighting. Or you'd get to the table, and the table was, like, 7 levels higher than everything you had been fighting. It was really weird. The exponential leveling system does make digivolving feel impactful. You'll get a little bit of a stat buff, then go back to level 1 and get a bunch of levels right away, making you feel like your Digimon's a lot stronger. Yeah, I agree with you. I just think that, like, the problem with Dawn and Dusk is that when you get to, like, level 35, so when you're trying to, like, get to Mega level and all that, or you're trying to get the late game Digimon that are really cool, like Omnimon, for instance, it becomes a massive chore because going from level 40 to level 60 feels like it takes 11 years. Whereas going from level 1 to level 35 or so doesn't take, like, long at all. And you may be like, oh, well, it makes sense that, like, it would take longer to go from level 40 to 60 than it would take to go from level, like, 20 to 40. Yeah, but normally, like, the Digimon you fight, or, like, the enemies you fight in games will also increase in the amount of experience they give you, so it doesn't feel like it takes as long. Dawn and Dusk don't really do that. Dawn and Dusk, it feels ridiculously longer per level up, and that's the problem. That's what makes it feel like such a grind, the, like, ultimate to mega levels. Yes, I really appreciate your Dawn and Dusk vids. They're 2 of my childhood games. It's comforting to watch you play them. Glad you enjoy. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and just buy one of each of these, because I have plenty of money. Of all these stat-up ones. We might end up needing all of them, who knows. Iron Ball. They have to be remaking Persona 4 eventually. I'm sure they will. Didn't Persona 3 Reload sell insanely well? Wasn't it like the fastest selling Persona game at the time of its release or something? Atlas would be stupid not to redo 4 the same way. Roughly the same way. It would literally just be like leaving money out to dry for no reason. Farm Island. Doesn't really matter where I put Garurumon, I don't think. Let's just put you in Velvet Island. 130% is fine. That is Sheena Island. Take out the belt machine. Put in the running wheel. Yeah, and you get +2 from this, which is really good. It's 65% instead of 60%. All right, that put him up to 152. He's got to get to 170, I think, so he's probably going to need like 2 more days unless he lucks into a wheel thing. Here's what we're going to do right now, actually. This is the perfect time to do this. We're going to vote for the next team member, but I'm also going to take this Growlmon, and while we vote, I'm going to go to Sunken Tunnel and get the machine experience it needs. So that way it can become War Growlmon easily. Now is definitely the time to do this. Yeah, Dawn and Dusk either, like, they could have done it 2 different ways, and they didn't do either way. They either needed, like, the way that you need more experience per level needs to be smaller. Like, it's too much of a jump. Like, when you go from level... I don't know what the actual numbers are, but, like, when you're level 40 and you level up to 41, let's say it takes 6,000 experience, the next level up takes, like, an additional 7,000 experience, or 6,500. It takes a lot. Those numbers should have been way smaller. It shouldn't have raised up as fast as it did. Or the enemy Digimon in the later game should have been giving more experience to make up that difference. And they didn't do either, so it leads to a really annoying mid to late game grind. But what Digimon do we want on this last vote, chat? I don't think Deadball is in chat anymore. I wish he was, because he gave all those gift subs. I hate that he's, like, not gonna get a say in this. We might not even do any gift subs for this last one, because, I mean, Gamer already got what he wanted. He's one of the usual gift sub suspects. And Deadball's the other one, and I don't think Deadball is around right now, unfortunately. Yeah, you just need machine experience, right? That's all I'm doing here. You need 2100. Yeah. It's like 1500. Deadball contacted me. He wants Minervamon. Shut up, Wolfen. Wolfen, why are you obsessed with Minervamon? Like, of all the Olympus 12, what a what a mid-tier one to be obsessed with. Lilithmon needs a minimum of 30k Dark. Well, it's a good thing that we haven't fought Grand Drakmon yet then, so that wouldn't be that bad. Is this the right way? Killing all of the Digimon from Tamer rank up Bronze to Platinum only gets your Digimon from like level 1 to 42 or something? Yeah, it's nonsense how little that gives. I think you only get to like level 65 or so max by killing all of the boss encounters in the entire game after that. Yeah, they didn't know what they were doing with the experience system very well. Or they knew what they were doing, but they just expected, like, again, they were like, oh, we need the 9-year-olds that buy this to just, like, fight nonstop and grind a lot. It just seems like a fun Digimon. Well, you know what? Fair enough. I'm seeing Canondramon again. I'm seeing Lilithmon show up. Do we have a third option outside of Lilithmon and Canondramon? None of you are machines. I need to get deep enough that Hookmon starts spawning. I'm not putting Minervamon as the third one. It's like only Wolfen wants that. He's like the only one. Bum, bum, bum. See, Homon. We're not doing another armored Digimon. Absolutely not. Yo, Metal Greymon is level 50. He's so close. What level is War Growlmon? I don't care what Falcomon is learning. He's just farm fodder. War Growlmon has 4 levels. We're almost there on 2 megas. Minervamon is a DNA in this game for some reason. Of course she is. Bum, 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 bum. There is, like, no consensus in chat about a third potential option. Everyone in chat is just saying a different Digimon. You know what? Screw it. Let's just run. It's the last one. Let's just run 2. Final team member for Dawn, Lilithmon, and Canondramon. 5 minutes. I usually do the 10-minute polls, but like they just last too long for no reason. Most everyone does their voting in the first 5 minutes, and then nothing happens for the last like 5 minutes of it. So we're just gonna do 5 minutes. All right, so there are your options: Hot Goth Babe or Giant Tank Dragon. What a combo. Bowser, thank you for subbing at tier 1 for 11 months. 1 month away from a full year of being subbed. Thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciated.